Good afternoon and welcome to One Hub Stadium, powered by Optus in Brisbane, where we have twin bill action for you in the ABL on bandits.tv. With Australian silver medalist Paul Gonzalez, I'm Eric Bramer. Thank you for joining us today. Game 3 and 4 coming up here this afternoon between the Adelaide Bite and the Curran Cove Brisbane Bandits. Paul, the first two games have been carbon copies of one another, but the Bandits took game 1, the Bite took game 2.
Yeah, I tell you what, an outstanding job by the Bite last night after game 1 loss. And really the credit goes to the lineup. The guys that we feared, Whitefield and Geddes, came up with big hits, 2 big solo shots, 1 solo shot, 1 2-run home run. And that really was the difference. It was really hard for the offense to take charge after a tough start by their starting pitcher last night.
Today's starting pitcher is Travis Blackley. Viewers who tuned in last night remember Travis is our analyst for the first half of yesterday's ball game. He is on the mound, and the lefty delivers inside ball 1 to Aaron Whitefield. Whitefield, Reynolds, Welsh, Geddes, McArdle, Edwards, Roger, Schumpert, and Meade for the Bite, who won last night's ball game by a score of 5-3. Swinging strike, and Aaron Whitefield has evened up the count 1-1. Bite took last night's game on the strength of Marcus Solbach, who pitched the game of the season thus far. 8 innings of 1-run, 2-hit ball, 3-hit ball, I beg your pardon. And coming into a doubleheader today, the innings that he gave his team could prove very, very valuable.
Absolutely. Not just an outstanding job. You're talking about the first start of the season to go that deep in a ball game, every manager's dream. But the plus side on a double bill tonight is the fact that he didn't have to go into the bullpen.
1-2 the count to Aaron Whitefield. Whitefield with a liner, foul down the third base line. Aaron last year with the Curran Cove Brisbane Bandits. This year with the Bite, has put together a pretty good start to his season. Last night, led off the game with a double, came around to score, and then hit a solo homer in the third. Also added some stellar defense out in center field. But to start this ball game, Travis Blackley gets a swing and a miss. The swinging strike 3 is a Skyfleet Hino strikeout.
Yeah, once again, and that's what Blackley does so well. And I think the difference we saw early in the preseason, he seems to stay within himself. He's a 3-pitch guy, but what he is a veteran arm that's pitched at the highest level. He's pitched at the big league level. He's pitched for Australia, and that's what he brings to his ball club. He competes when he needs to, but he's going to keep hitters off balance all night.
Blackley, a 36-year-old lefty. In his ABL career, 8-3 with a 3.51 ERA. First pitch misses low ball 1 to Mikey Reynolds, the shortstop for Adelaide. Exact same lineup as last night for the Bite. And last night's lineup was almost identical to their season opening lineup on Thursday. Manager Chris Adamson knows what he likes, and after a win, you don't mess with it. Line drive right to the third baseman, Shu, who makes the play for out number 2. The left side of the infield with Shu at third and Bennett at short really impressed a lot of people last night with the defense.
Impressed. I think we had play of the year potentially. His ball hit right here, right at the third baseman, and a good stab by G for out number 2. But fantastic. We saw TJ probably make one of the best plays for the Bandits in the history. We've seen some fantastic defensive plays throughout the years.
Replay presented by Suki Bowl. Here's Stephen Welsh, third baseman for the Bite. He stands in and takes ball 1. Welsh 1 for 4 in last night's ball game. So far on the year, batting .250, 2 hits and 8 trips to the plate. Check swing and a strike, and the count is 1-1. Blackley, a cutter and curveball guy. Experience with 5 different major league teams. Came up with the Seattle Mariners way back in 2004. Since then, San Francisco, Oakland, Houston, and Texas. Called strike with the breaking pitch, and it's 1-2.
Blackley's doing exactly what we talked about, not overthrowing, utilizing each pitch, and what he does, his variation with eye look and location is what makes him tough. Really pitches to soft contact.
There's some hard contact, a base hit to right field. Ellis, the right fielder, plays it on a hop and gets it back in, but Stephen Welsh keeps the first inning alive with a 2-out single. They'll bring up Michael Geddes, who is the real deal, as we saw last night. 2-run homer to center in the first inning, a single and a run scored in the third. There's a lot of pop in this young man's bat and a lot of eyeballs watching him this season.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to Whitefield after the ball game, and they've got a lot of, as far as scouting reporting him, he's a 5-tool guy. Good power, good speed, and a fantastic arm.
Property of the San Diego Padres organization as he takes a called strike. Today's scheduled doubleheader will be a 7-inning game followed by a 9-inning game. Blackley would love to qualify for a win and get through 5. And that's what he's known for, the pickoff move. As a left-handed thrower, he's got a very deceptive move to first.
Yeah, probably one of the best in baseball. When I say baseball, even at the major league level. I know when he was with Seattle, they did a lot of workshops even when he was young. I'm teaching the other left-handers in the organization his pickoff move.
0-1 misses wide. James Shields calls balls and strikes for game 1 of this doubleheader. Tom West at third, crew chief Mal Mackay is at first. Wind gusting out to right field. Chance of some weather as we get on into the afternoon. Swing and a miss, it's 1-2.
Good pitch right there, and just say where he pulled back on that. That's where he's going to give you variations of speeds, and right there looked like a changeup up in the zone, but gets a very young, aggressive hitter out in front.
Blackley with a long look in, shaking off his catcher, Danny De La Calle. 1-2 misses up and away. Defense for the Bandits has Nielsen in left, Campbell in center, Ellis in right. Shue at third, Bennett at short, Dutton at second, Sutherland at first, and De La Calle behind the plate. Blackley steps off and steps back on. The Bite ran wild on the bases last night. In the entire 2017-18 season, they stole just 8 bases, and they're more than halfway to that total already this season. Fouled off, count remains 2-2.
Yeah, it's probably one of the big makeup differences this year. Although they have a very young team, they do have a lot of speed. And I think the game plan this year, speaking to a couple of the players, and was let's utilize our speed. Let's put pressures on defense, particularly in ballparks like this, and force them to cover bags when they're on the move.
2-2 coming, and it misses inside. Count runs full with 2 down. Welsh will take off early from first. Jordan McArdle waits on deck. 1 stolen base for the Bite on Thursday night and 4 last night, including 2 from Mikey Reynolds. Welsh takes his lead. Payoff pitch to Geddes. Hit hard on the ground and past the diving shortstop Bennett into left field. Checking in at second is Welsh. He won't tempt the arm of Nielsen in left. And back-to-back singles with 2 down has given the Bite the first threat of the ball game here in the first.
Yeah, good job of hitting right there. Got in 3-2 count. And particularly if Blackley didn't have such a good move, we may see Welsh at third base. But because he does, really forced him to stay close to the bag and not run into the out. But good job of hitting 3-2 count with 2 outs.
It was a 3-2 count in the first inning of last night's ball game, in which Geddes hit a 2-run homer. That came off of Ryan Searle, who allowed 5 runs in 6 innings in the loss. Left-handed hitting first baseman Jordan McArdle steps in for the Bite. Ball 1 misses. 19 pitches thrown for Blackley, 12 of them for strikes. McArdle on the season, in a small sample size, batting .143. Lefty-lefty matchup, and the 1-0. Again, just missing. De La Calle has tried to frame the pitches on the outer half from Blackley to no avail. Shortstop Bennett keeping Welsh close at second. And the 2-0, a called strike. That's a pitch that he needed to have. You don't want to face 3-0 with runners at first and second.
No, really good location, particularly in the hitting count. So just got to keep the pressure on. He's still got to work 2-1 here with the man on second base.
Blackley with a look towards second. The 2-1. Right down the middle. Hitters count, and it looked like a secondary pitch there for Blackley, not what McArdle was expecting.
And that's what veteran guys will do to younger hitters. He only sits at 20 years of age facing a veteran arm, so just giving him other pitches in hitting counts. He'd probably normally see a four-seam fastball in that situation.
Got him. Another Skyfleet Hino strikeout, and Blackley strikes out 2 in the first, stranding a pair. Still scoreless as we go to the bottom of the first inning. Bandits coming to bat.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire? Kiss me, baby, touch me. Kiss me, baby, love me.
Welcome back to One Hub Stadium, powered by Optus. Paul Gonzalez and Eric Bramer with you. Scoreless in the bottom of the first in game 1 of 2. We wrap up the Week 1 series against the Adelaide Bites. Bandits lineup goes like this. Andrew Campbell leads off in center field. He'll be followed by TJ Bennett at shortstop, Shu Ji Hung at third base, Wade Dutton at second, Donald Lutz, the designated hitter, David Sutherland, the first baseman, Danny De La Calle behind home plate, Daniel Nielsen in left field, and Mitch Ellis in right. Those 9 going up against Greg Moselle, who, when you look at the numbers, didn't have a very good year last year, but perhaps one of the most unlucky pitchers in the league. 1-7 with an ERA in the low 5s. He deserved better than that.
Yeah, he did. I got a chance to watch him all year, and he's a competitor. He's a 3-pitch guy. He'll keep you off balance. Sneaky quick because he does mix in his pitches. He'll pitch behind in the counts. So the Bandits will have their work cut out for him today.
Adelaide native in his 3rd year playing for his hometown team. First pitch to Andrew Campbell, a called strike. Campbell held 0 for 4 yesterday after an impressive debut on Thursday night in which he homered to begin the season. Low and away from the righty, and the count is 1-1. Pitch bounced in the dirt, and it's 2-1.
The key for him today will be getting ahead in the count. This ballpark is not a pitcher's ballpark if you fall behind the count. So now he sits in a 2-1 count. Let's see if he goes at the hitter.
2-1 driven in the air down the left field line. Long run for Schumpert, and it is a foul ball. Looked like it had home run distance, but just foul. And Campbell retreats to the batter's box. Moselle in the past has had trouble that 3rd time through the lineup, but he seems like the right guy to pitch in a 7-inning ball game because you don't necessarily need your starter to go as deep.
Absolutely, and that's probably the strategies around as well. He's going to give you, they give you 5. He is a workhorse, but you're right, that 3rd time around in the lineup, a lot of guys do start to lock in knowing that he's only a 2, maybe a 3-pitch guy.
3-2 pitch, chopped on the ground up the middle. Second baseman Meade has it and throws on to first to get Campbell by 2 steps. Campbell retired on a 4-3, the exact same way he began last night's ball game. And here's TJ Bennett. Bennett offensively had a night to forget. 4 strikeouts in 4 trips to the plate. But as we alluded to earlier, defensively at shortstop, he made one of the best plays that we will see all year.
He has, and I'll tell you one thing as a former player, it's a different mindset too. All of a sudden he's gone from a power position to a shortstop. A lot more pressure now defensively for him, so sometimes you over-focus on certain areas, and then you've got to maybe not be as relaxed at the plate. But he's a veteran guy, so I think he'll transition quickly.
He takes low and in, and the count is 2-0. So far, Moselle having some trouble finding the strike zone. Count went full on Campbell, and now behind in the count to Bennett.
That'll be a key, especially in a 7-inning ball game. Can the hitters adjust early? If he is struggling with his pitch, looks like a changeup, maybe he becomes a 2-pitch guy.
2-0 taken up and in, and it's 3-0 with Shu Ji Hung waiting on deck. First pitch temperature here in Brisbane at 28 degrees Celsius. Wind 5 kilometers going out to right field. And a 4-pitch walk to TJ Bennett gives the Bandits their first base runner. Good patient approach for someone who didn't have the best game with the bat last night.
And that's going to happen, you know, first time you see guys, and it is first look after a long off season, so these guys have probably about almost 2 months off between when they played and when they don't, so they'll make early adjustments, but both teams have done a fantastic job to date.
Long off season, and for TJ a long flight as well. Here's Shu Ji Hung. He takes low and away ball 1.
And I think we've been fortunate enough, AKA, we'll just call him G-Man.
Shu doubled in his last at-bat last night, his first hit in a Bandits uniform. And he takes a ball 2-0.
And I tell you what, for his size, and he's a big man, he runs well. So surprisingly, got a chance to see him defensively last night. He made a la Brooks Robinson play at third and came up and fired for a big out. But I think, like I said, defensively, offensively, and he can run. He brings several tools to the Bandits lineup.
Runner goes, the 2-0 is low, and the throw down to second is high into center field. Bennett went down into a slide, and he will stay at second. But the Bandits giving the Bite a little taste of their own medicine with an early stolen base.
Yeah, really good jump by TJ right there to beat the throw. Now he puts himself in scoring position, puts pressure on this defense.
Suki Bowl replay here, as you can see Bennett sliding in. Good job to clear that slide from the shortstop Reynolds. 3-0 the count. First base is now open for Shu. Shu gets the green light and sends it on the ground towards first. McArdle fields, takes it to the base himself. That's out number 2, and not the result you want on a 3-0 swing.
Yeah, I like the aggressiveness by David Nielsen in that situation. So he's green light him 3-0, particularly early. Here's the pitch right here. Just rolled out, got a little bit out in front, rolled over. Does advance the runner to third base, but I like the aggressiveness by David Nielsen saying, I'm going to give you a chance to drive the ball. It's a 7-inning ball game. The wind's blowing out. Let's see, let it go ahead and let it loose.
Bennett advances 90 feet to third base, and here's Wade Dutton, the right-handed hitting second baseman. Dutton takes a breaking pitch, low and away ball 1. Dutton ripped an RBI double in the 9th inning of last night's game. 2 runs in the 9th, but it was 2 runs too short as the Bandits fell 5-3. And another ball, another hitter's count for the Bandits against Greg Moselle.
Yeah, good timeout right here, and all he's doing now is just settling back in. That's the 3rd hitter in a row he's fallen behind the count on it, and he's obviously telling him right now, let's stay within yourself, let's not overthrow. And a lot of times when guys miss up in the zone, they're just trying to do too much and be too fine on the mound.
Mitchell Edwards, the catcher. Other defenders for the Bite has McArdle at first, Meade at second, Reynolds at short, Welsh at third, Schumpert, Whitefield, and Geddes left to right across the outfield. 2-0 pitch is taken for a strike. Two one, another called strike. Patient approach for the Bandits, can't blame them for that. Dutton hopes he didn't pass up a hittable pitch. 2-2 when he fights off what may have been ball 3 up in the zone, but too close to take. Off the netting, and the count remains 2-2.
Yeah, and that's what's tough when a guy is wildly effective, which means he hasn't pitched in the zone, missed several counts. Sometimes you force him throw into your zone. He's probably taken a good 2-1 pitch, and now he's got to battle 2-2.
This will be pitch number 20 for Moselle, only 7 of them so far for strikes. Hit weakly towards short. Reynolds charges, has to hurry, and throws in time to retire Dutton and the Bandits in a scoreless first. Bennett left at third, and we go to the second inning. No score between the Bite and the Bandits on bandits.tv.
Careful, out there, champ.
How good is this?
It's an overcast day, but clear for now in Brisbane, hoping the rain holds off as the Bandits and Adelaide Bite take each other on for 2 games, wrapping up this Series 1 weekend. Paul Gonzalez and Eric Bramer with you, and 2 two-out singles for the Bite came up empty on Travis Blackley in the first. They will send Mitchell Edwards, Angus Roger, and Nicholas Schumpert to the plate and try and get an early lead as they did last night. Early leads in both of these games so far this season have been very important.
They are, particularly in a 7-inning ball game and with a bit of cloud overhead as well. But the Bandits found themselves in a couple of situations in hitting counts and weren't able to capitalize. She came up with a 3-0 count and had the green light and rolled over to first base. So big opportunities for the Bandits. Hopefully that won't come back and bite them. Now Blackley's got to come out and keep this and contain this offense.
Mitchell Edwards, switch-hitting catcher, batting righty tonight against the lefty. Blackley steps in. Edwards batting .286 with a homer and 2 RBI so far the year. First pitch swinging, tapped towards third. Fair ball play made by Shu, and a non-target throw across to Sutherland for a quick first out. As Blackley tries to get deep into this ball game, he likes those.
Absolutely, and that's what he's going to do. Here's a replay again. Ground ball, soft ground ball to third. And I really like the way G takes his time, comes up, squares up, makes a really good throw to first base for out number 1.
Now Angus Roger, designated hitter again today for the Bite. Roger has started his 2018-2019 campaign with an 0 for 7. Trying to break the ice, he takes up high ball 1.
28 years old from Melbourne, 185 centimeters, 84 kilos. So he's a big man, so he's got plenty of power.
Got some good hair, too, as he fouls one straight back.
Looking at his numbers last year, 17-18, he had 8 home runs and 22 RBIs and 131 at-bats. So really good production in a big ballpark.
The 1-1, up and away. Blackley with 27 pitches, 17 of them for strikes. From the stretch, the lefty delivers and gets a swing and a miss.
Yeah, really good pitch right there. Looked like he pulled the string. And what makes it effective is he missed up in the zone with a fastball and then able to come back with a changeup, change the location, and it gives a perception of a fastball to get him swinging out in front. So now it makes it 2-2. Tough at bat for number 5.
Tap towards third again. This one rolls foul up the line. Viewers from last night will remember when Travis was up in the booth with us, we were talking about Ryan Searle's move from the bullpen to the rotation and how it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be pitching from the windup. We see here what Travis was talking about. Nobody on, but he's still pitching from the stretch.
Yeah, it's what he feels comfortable with, and he may have been, he's a guy that came out of the bullpen a lot in his career, so he feels comfortable coming from that position. So he's a guy that's had a lot of experience transitioning. Surly's now transitioned from a former starter to one of the premier closers of the ABL, now back into a starter role. So he'll have a transition, and he'll acclimate well back into that starting role.
Roger digs back in after yet another foul. Froze him with the breaking pitch. An outstanding curveball for Travis Blackley. Another strikeout presented by Sky Fleet Hino. Strikeout number 3 already for Travis Blackley.
And here's a pitch again. Look at it. Now, if you've got command of that third pitch, which that's his breaking ball right there, it gets really tough because you can't sit on one pitch. Changeup's been outstanding. Fastball's been up in the zone, but he got a few guys to chase it. Now, if he can snap that curveball, he's going to be a tough pitcher today.
Suki Bowl replay. Here's Nicholas Schumpert. Left fielder hits one hard but foul up the first base line, 0-1. Schumpert last night 1 for 3. He was also hit by a pitch and stole a base. Oh, 1 fouled back.
Just looking at 22 years of age from Denver, Colorado, USA. He's a 28th round pick from the Atlanta Braves in 2016, and obviously good pedigree with his dad playing in the big leagues for a number of years.
His dad, a Rocky, explains why he was born in Denver. The 0-2. Bounce on the dirt, nicely taken by Schumpert.
You want to talk about kids now in the big leagues. I saw Pudge Rodriguez's son is up in the big leagues now, and you see Vladimir Guerrero's son is playing and doing some big things in that organization. But starting to see a lot of young players whose fathers are now Hall of Famers are coming through the minor leagues, and they're looking like they're going to be impact players in the big leagues themselves.
Bounced in the dirt again, and Schumpert takes. Derek Rodriguez had an outstanding rookie campaign in the Giants rotation. And Vlad Guerrero Jr. held down in the minor leagues probably more for service time than lack of merit because he is one of the best hitting prospects in all of baseball.
He's probably one of the scariest hitter in baseball right now. I got a chance to see him throughout the year, and he's going to be an impact player, to say the least.
2-2. Called strike 3. 4 strikeouts through 2 scoreless innings for Travis Blackley. Another Skyfleet Hino strikeout and a pair of backwards Ks in the scorebook for the Bandits lefty. We'll see if the Bandits can get on the board after this on Bandits.tv.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
No one knows what the future of transportation will look like. Robots. But no matter what, Enterprise can help. You can rent a car for a road trip. Look, kids, nature. Oh, wow. You can rent a truck for a move. You can buy a car, commute in a van pool, or get picked up because your car is in a pool. My bad. Count on Enterprise, no matter where transportation goes next.
Let's go.
I love the future. How can Enterprise pick you up today?
Clouds look a little ominous, but we are dry for now at One Hub Stadium powered by Optus. The Curran Cove Brisbane Bandits are batting in the bottom of the second inning of a scoreless game. Game 1 of 2 this afternoon as they wrap up the first weekend of the season. Paul Gonzalez and Eric Bramer with you. Donald Lutz will lead it off for the Bandits, followed by David Sutherland and Danny De La Calle. Bandits mustered a one-out walk and a stolen base, but left T.J. Bennett at third base in a scoreless first inning.
Yeah, Blackley's throwing the ball extremely well and exactly what David would like to see from his veteran left-handed pitcher. And that's so important. We talked about it today. You saw the cloud cover Wind is blowing out fairly heavily to right. I think it's picked up a few kilometers per hour today. So they're going to have to make sure and see if Mosul can keep the ball down in the zone, because if he does make mistakes, these are the guys that can do the damage.
Donald Lutz with a big cut ahead of the off-speed pitch from Greg Mosel, 0-1. Lutz last night 1 for 2 with a single, a walk, and a run-scoring sac fly in the 9th inning. Oh-1, hit hard on the ground, past the diving second baseman Meade into right field. Bandits have their first hit, and it is courtesy of Donald Lutz.
Yeah, really good job of hitting with Lutz right there. And that's the thing, he coached this year with the Cincinnati Reds organization, so a lot of time in the batting cage, probably took a lot of tee work, probably took some BP. But he's like a big steam engine. Once he gets going, he's tough to stop.
And he does have the ability to hit the ball to all fields. For other guys of his size from the left side, you may see a pull shift on, but that one made it through because they have to respect his ability to take it to the opposite way.
Yeah, what's always made him a good hitter and what got him to the big leagues is his ability to utilize the whole field. He stays in there tough against left-handed pitchers as well, and which makes him a threat.
David Sutherland takes low in the dirt, and the count is 1-1.
Speaking of threat, this man hit an absolute rocket to right field yesterday. I don't think it got higher than the fence line to get out for the first run of the game for the Bandits. And outside of that, they really were held to very little offense.
One of only a few hard-hit balls against Marcus Solbach. Here's a hard-hit ball, fielded at first by McArdle. He goes to second for the first, but then cannot get his foot back on the base. It'll be a fielder's choice. Lutz forced out. Sutherland lucky that didn't turn into a double play.
Yeah, really good play by McArdle. Ball was hit very hard to him, came up, fired to second base. You see the replay right here. The ball's hit hard, stayed with it, and a good feed to second base, but unable to get the fleet-footed David Sutherland getting down the line.
Not a bad throw, I guess a little bit offline, but when you're blindly trying to find the base with your foot, sometimes you don't have the best position to catch a return throw. Danny De La Calle, coming off of a good first game on Thursday night behind the plate, steps in.
And he did have a 6'4", 125-kilo
that should not
steam
be
train coming down.
De La Calle, a pair of doubles and a pair of runs scored on Thursday night. Ryan Battaglia caught last night's ball game, and this one in the dirt gets away from Adelaide's catcher Edwards. That allows Sutherland to take second base.
Yeah, really good heads-up base running by Sutherland right there, just reading the ball in the dirt and able to advance. So now he puts himself in scoring position here in the second.
It'll be a wild pitch. Not too often will you see Sutherland active on the base paths, but he is a smart base runner, and he takes an extra 90, putting himself in scoring position with one down. Hitters count, and Danny De La Calle tried to get the Bandits on the board with a big swing, but he comes up empty, 2-1.
Yeah, one thing I just saw right there, and I'm just watching him, he didn't have command of the changeup. Got into a hitting count again, pulled the string on it, so good pitch, good location.
De La Calle sends it foul up the third base line. One encouraging thing about Danny's performance on Thursday night, a pair of doubles, but they were both hit to the right side of the field, and that's something that every player would be well served to do. It's an approach that allows you to get the ball deeper into your swing and allows for more possibilities.
Well, I call that's a long-term game plan approach. I think if you can stay inside and through the baseball, it allows you to judge offset to curveballs, change-up sliders, and stay through the ball longer. So it's a long-term approach as a hitter. And when you got guys of his size and stature, they'll have success further in their careers.
Another 3-ball count for Greg Mosel, the 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Elevated the fastball. De La Calle chased ball 4, and he's out number 2 here in the second. First strikeout of the game for Mosel.
What I liked about that pitching sequence is that hitting counts, he pulled the string. And when he got 3-2, he elevated and got him to chase outside the zone. So really good job of pitching with the man on second base.
Here's Daniel Nielsen with Sutherland still at second. Nielsen takes low and in ball 1. Moselle from the stretch, a look towards second. Pitch misses wide, it's 2-0. 33 pitches now for Greg Moselle, just 15 of them for strikes. So far, he hasn't paid the price for that. Well-placed hit here with 2 down from Nielsen could give the Bandits a lead. There's one hit hard down the left field line, but it lands about 6 feet foul. Count is 2-1.
It looks like he's got the hitters in between. You get a hitting count right there, and he just falls a little bit behind, so almost like he was sitting on an off-speed pitch and able to fire it down the left field line. He's still in a hitting count, 2-1. See what he does here.
Nielsen takes high and tight. 3-1 with first base open. 9th place batter Mitch Ellis waiting on deck. Moselle delivers, and it's ball 4. Second walk of the game for Moselle. Nielsen takes the empty first base. And now runners at first and second for Mitch Ellis. Before that, though, Luke Prokopek, the pitching coach for the Bite, is going to come out and have a chat.
Look, a good timeout by Prokopek. Like you said, he has labored in the first 2 innings and probably just is settling back down. He really hadn't paid the price for it. And if you look at it, even in game 1, the Bandits left several runners on base and didn't capitalize to what they potentially could have. Last night they were shut down offensively. So right now they've got to see, can they take advantage of this situation with 2 outs and a man on first and second base.
Bandits left 12 men on base on Thursday, just 3 in last night's ballgame. In a situation like this, you can't just tell a guy to throw strikes because with 2 runners on, there's very little margin for error.
That's exactly right. And then you've got the top of the order, and you've got the big threat of Andrew Campbell coming back up. So you got to be really careful. And the Prokopek order right now said, we don't have a book on this hitter, so let's be really tough. Go at him because we don't want to face Campbell, who we know can do some damage.
Ellis would be the guy to get. 0 for 3 so far this season. Takes low and in ball 1. Ellis, a left-handed hitting right fielder, one of 7 lefties in the starting 9 for Dave Nielsen yet again today. Swinging strike, a foul tip, and it's 1-1.
Good pitch right there. After falling behind again, 1-0, he came back with a changeup in a really good location. So critical for him to keep the ball down in the zone right now.
Moselle delivers. Driven in the air, deep towards right field. This ball is back and gone! Mitch Ellis comes through with his first hit of the year. A 3-run shot to right, and the Bandits jump out early. Empire Jerky home run, second on Bandits TV this season. And yet again, a line drive out to right field.
I'll tell you what, a great job of hitting by that young man. Got him to have a lot of nerves coming out in that situation. See the team right there. Here's a replay. Falls down and into a left-handed hitter, the no-go zone to most lefties. And he's able to shoot over right field, now making it 3-0 in favor of the Bandits.
Here's another lefty, Andrew Campbell, 0 for 1 so far today. He takes a ball. Well, I said 7 of 9 guys in this lineup are left-handed. It's 320 down the right field line, 370 to straightaway center. GM Paul Gonzalez, do you think this team may be built for this ballpark?
I tell you what, this team is built for any ballpark. I tell you, between Mark Reedy and David Nielsen, there's tough hitters 1 through 9, and all of a sudden,
hit on the ground towards first. McArdle with the backhand stop. Pitcher covering makes the out, but the out comes 1 batter too late for Greg Moselle and the Bite. A 3-run homer for Mitch Ellis gives the Bandits a 3-0 lead at the end of 2 in this 7-inning ballgame.
It's always been you.
It's always been us.
There's the Wolf's Lair, home of Brisbane Bandits owner Mark Reedy. He's got a party going in there, and we've got a party going in here. Paul Gonzalez and Eric Bramer with you at One Hub Stadium, powered by Optus. Manager Dave Nielsen and pitching coach Jim Bennett talking things over, and probably a low-stress conversation right now with a 3-0 lead after 2.
Absolutely, and the way Blackley's throwing the ball, we just got to keep him doing what he's doing. But you're right, when a manager can get to an early lead in a 7-inning ball game with a veteran arm, knowing that he's got a deep bullpen, it's a good position to be in.
9-1-2 due up for the bite, beginning with Curtis Mead, the right-handed hitting second baseman. Travis Blackley, the lefty, delivers the first pitch, and it's a called strike on the inner half. Through 2 innings, Blackley with 36 pitches, 24 of them for strikes. Pair of 2-out singles in the first, but no more damage, and 4 strikeouts. He seems to have his A game this afternoon. 0-1 rocketed past the shortstop Bennett into left field. Bennett has been outstanding defensively, but even he couldn't catch up to that rocket off the bat of Curtis Mead.
Yeah, really good hitting by Mead right there to get it past the diving Bennett, but the ball came hot off that bat for a leadoff single here in the third.
Now the lineup turns over for Aaron Whitefield. Whitefield a strikeout victim in the first, but he's been the most dangerous bat for the bite so far in this young season. And this is a big inning for Travis Blackley. Handed a 3-run lead. You don't want to give anything back.
And Blackley knows that. Like I said, you don't pitch at the big league level, and you understand situations. Now he'll be pitching to contact, hopefully induce the ground ball.
Whitefield takes ball 1.
One thing Whitefield does so well, he gets down the line, so anything hit in the infield would be a tough double play. So Blackley knows that, but what makes him so effective is the ability to keep runners close with his good move.
Again, 5 stolen bases through 2 games for Adelaide in this series. But with Blackley and his world-class pickoff move, the running game will likely be neutralized, at least for game 1 today. 2-0 now the count to Aaron Whitefield. Right down the middle from Blackley, and it is another 2-strike count. I beg your pardon, scoreboard had it wrong. It's 2-1. There's a called strike, and it's 2-2.
I had a good chance to have a chat with Whitefield after the ball game last night, and just ask him how he's going. He's actually really enjoying the transition. Obviously, he misses competing with the teammates, but he said it's been a fantastic adjustment going to Adelaide.
There's the pickoff move. Maybe not the A move, but a good one nonetheless from Blackley as he gets Mead to dive back to first.
Yeah, that's just keep you in double play distance and not really trying to show the A move exactly like you said. Hopefully induce a ground ball here, 2-2.
Fouled at the plate, Whitefield stays alive. And Whitefield just 22 years old, born in 1996. But he is, in some ways, a veteran on this Adelaide team. He's someone who has experienced affiliated ball. He's experienced an ABL championship. And though he is young, he has a lot of experience that he can lend to some of his teammates. Pitch misses just up, and the count runs full.
And to throw on top of that, just for being that young and in transition, he's Rookie of the Year and former Helms Award winner. So we're talking about very young in his career. He's had a lot of early success, but bringing the championship rings to the club just brings a different culture as well.
Blackley's 3-2. Popped up back of first. Foul territory for Sutherland, but he has no play. It's well into the stands.
What a lot of people don't know, and a lot of people do know, he's a transition player as well. from New Zealand, played softball, fast pitch softball, and he's made a fantastic adjustment to baseball. And obviously the Twins organization have a lot of high hopes for this young man.
Family in town. Not too far of a trek for him, but they were at Thursday's opener. Another 3-2. Another foul out of play.
And that's what makes him tough. You've got veteran arm, and Blackley's made some good pitches, and they're normally pitches he sit there and saying, I've executed my spot. That's what the veteran hitters do right there, and this is a young man able to just fight off the tough pitches and hopefully induce a mistake.
Mikey Reynolds waits on deck. He would represent the tying run if Whitefield can reach. Whitefield swings and sends it high in the air towards left. Nielsen has it measured. As he drifts into the gap, he makes the catch for out number 1. Hold your breath anytime Aaron Whitefield puts the ball in the air at this ballpark, but the park held that fly ball.
It did, and what I said, it's still a good at-bat right there from that young man, and that's what you want to see from an organizational standpoint. If I say Twins, just you look at the location of the pitches are down and in, really fighting the ball inside on his hands, able to stay through it, but not able to drive the ball out of the ballpark. So good job by Blackley for out 1.
Everything that was either a strike or offered at in that Whitefield at bat was down and in. So good location from Blackley as he delivers ball 1 to Mikey Reynolds.
And that's the difference between a veteran arm is if there is a book or a scouting report, they'll throw to the book and force the hitter to make the adjustment.
Blackley were a marksman, that would be a tight grouping. Reynolds takes on the inside corner. That's a good pitch for Blackley to have. And a nice frame job by De La Calle behind the plate.
Yeah, I had the fortune of watching Blackley throw in the exhibition game against Team Japan when he was playing for Team Australia, and he did a brilliant job. Same thing. Location was outstanding, utilizing the variations of speed, and he's gone back to that repertoire here in Game 1.
The 1-1. Reynolds fouls beyond his own dugout down the third base line, 1-2. Reynolds hit one on the screws, a line drive caught by the third baseman Shu his first time up.
Reynolds, a 5th-round pick in 2013 with the Atlanta Braves out of a former rival school that I played against at Texas A&M, so fantastic university.
1-2 misses inside. Can you call it a rivalry if the Aggies won almost every time?
Well, the landscape's changed now. Texas Christian University does compete, but
they're a powerhouse.
Back when we played, they were the powerhouse. Them and University of Texas were the ones that really led the pack.
Blackley set. 2-2, tapped weakly up the third base line. It rolls foul, and Shu gloves it before it has a chance to go back fair.
I'll throw a name at you. Your father would know, and it's Chuck Knobloch.
Oh, sure.
He was an Aggie when I was competing at TCU, and ended up being a first-round pick with Minnesota, I believe, and played along. Didn't he win a World Series there?
91 Rookie of the Year and a World Series champion. Won a couple more rings with the Yankees in the late 90s.
Yeah, Chuck was a bit of a rock star in the early Aggie days, and then transitioned well to the big leagues and had a fantastic playing career.
Meade with a modest lead off first. Another 2-2 coming from Blackley to Reynolds. Mikey Reynolds sends it high and deep down the left field line. It has home run distance, but it's foul.
Good pitch by Blackley right there, and it is, some guys will say it's a long strike in that situation, so he got him out in front, and then now he can kind of see if he can pull the string and get him out in front and get him to roll over on the next pitch.
This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Low and in, the count runs full. De La Calle has kept busy as the catcher this afternoon. Danny making his second start in 3 games. A lot of deep counts on both sides of the ball so far in this game. And before the 3-2, Blackley steps off and gets a new set of signs.
It'll be interesting here to see if Adelaide does play aggressive baseball, but different in mindset when you've got the move of Blackley.
Mead stays put, and a swinging strike 3. Reynolds goes down on strikes. Strikeout number 5 for Blackley already, and another Skyfleet Hino strikeout.
Yeah, good job right there. Just elevated the fastball up out of the zone in a 3-2 count, able to get it by the hitter for out number 2. But as you said, here's the pitch and here's the location again, up in the strike zone, but able to get him to chase it.
That'll leave it to Stephen Welsh. Welsh kept the first inning alive with a 2-out single, trying to keep the train rolling here in the 3rd. First pitch inside, and it hits him on the right shoulder area. Got off pretty easy for a hit by pitch. That's going to hurt for a little bit, but glancing blow on the bicep area. That will bring the tying run to the plate in the form of the dangerous Michael Geddes.
And that's exactly right there. It was a glancing blow. He obviously got the arm guard, so no damage to the arm. But where the real damage is, now it brings the tying run to the plate here in the 3rd with the Bandits leading 3-0.
Geddes with a 2-run homer in last night's game, batting .444, 4 for 9 so far this year. And a first pitch strike from Blackley, all important with a couple men on. Wind picking up here in Brisbane. Wind from the northeast blowing out to right field. The 0-1. Secondary offering, this is up and away. One popped up on the right side of the infield. Sutherland has it. He calls and catches for the 3rd out. Second time today, the Bite have put 2 men on in an inning, but both times Travis Blackley has answered the call. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Curran Cove Brisbane Bandits on top 3-0.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire?
Weather hasn't quite turned, but I think as long as we stay dry, nobody will mind the cloud cover this afternoon in Brisbane. Paul Gonzalez and Eric Bramer with you. It was a hot and steamy morning, and we can expect more of that as the season goes along.
Oh, absolutely. It will only get hotter, but these players have acclimated well to this ballpark, and really game 1, it'll be a little steamy, but we always get those beautiful coastal breezes, and it gets down to a beautiful temperature at night. We've got a great ball game here, 3-0 here, now in the bottom of the 3rd.
Game 1 of 2 in today's doubleheader, a 7-inning game followed by a 9-inning game. And 2, 3, and 4 due up for the Bandits, beginning with TJ Bennett. Bennett takes up high ball 1 from Greg Moselle, who almost got out of the 2nd inning. But a 2-out, 3-run homer from the 9th place batter, Mitch Ellis, has given the Bandits the advantage.
And once again, here in the 3rd inning, he continues to fall behind in the count. He didn't get away with the young hitter driving the ball out of the ballpark to right field for a 3-run shot. So he's got to find a way to get back in this at bat.
Bennett takes, and the count is 3-0. 45 pitches, just 19 strikes for the Adelaide native. Bennett begins the 3rd inning the same way he continued the 1st inning. A 4-pitch walk as he trots down to first. He's seen 8 pitches, and it's been 8 balls.
Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes certain hitters you have to respect, or let's say he's done damage against him in the past, so it's very careful pitching, but doesn't get any easier moving forward in this lineup.
Bennett stole 2nd, got as far as 3rd in the 1st inning. Here's Shu Ji Hung. Craig Moselle didn't forget TJ Bennett's larceny of second base, so he throws over. Shu got the green light on 3-0 and tapped to first. Hard grounder. Called strike. Moselle again throws to first. We saw Shu pick up his first Bandits hit in the 9th inning of last night's ball game, but he also sent one to the warning track in right center earlier in the ball game. Get the sense that a breakthrough is not too far away for the lefty. Called strike.
Yeah, he's 26 years of age, out of Kaohsiung County, Taiwan. Plays for the Brothers Elephant organization in the CPBL. And he does come with some fairly heavy credentials and a lot of power to all fields.
The 0-2, missing outside. Coming over from the Brothers, he didn't have to change any of his equipment colors or anything. Both the Brothers and the Bandits sharing the same color scheme. Bandits wearing the home whites again today for game 1. 1-2, and a swinging strike 3. Shu chase low and away, and that is strikeout number 2 for Moselle this afternoon. Big first out for Moselle, and a return to the strike zone after he strayed to begin the inning. Here's Wade Dutton, who grounded to short to end the 1st inning. A look towards first is enough to get Bennett to scamper back to the base. Might have actually out-hit the Bandits so far, 3-2. But the big hit again, the Mitch Ellis 2-out, 3-run homer in the 2nd. There goes Bennett. The throw down to second is not in time. The throw is actually in time, but an evasive slide from Bennett enables him to collect his 2nd stolen base of the ball game.
Wow, talking about evasive, you're right. The ball did beat him, so obviously he got under the tag. He isn't being contested. We'll get a chance to see it here on the Suki replay right here. Good throw by Edwards. Ball does beat him, but able to get just under the tag. Umpire's right there in a good position to make a good call.
Kind of a swipe tag there from the 2nd baseman, Curtis Mead. Bennett now in scoring position for Dutton. And Dutton, fooled on the off-speed pitch, goes around. It's 0-2. After Dutton, it'll be Donald Lutz. And it's looking to extend their 3-0 edge in the bottom of the 3rd. Pitch misses low, and that's a good take from Dutton.
good timeout right now, and he's probably just making sure they're okay on the signs, particularly with the man on second base. You don't want to be crossed up in that situation, particularly with the tough hitter at the plate, and you've got the very dangerous Donald Lutz on deck.
We can't see the Adelaide bullpen, but our man in the south, Eric Balnar, who joined us on the broadcast last night, tells us Wilson Lee, the lefty, is warming in the pen. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Nasty pitch from Moselle. Gets Dutton way out in front. Back-to-back strikeouts after the leadoff walk. And that'll leave it to Donald Lutz.
Interesting situation where you've got a tough hitter at the plate, and you've also got another lefty on deck. So he will pitch careful to the Donald Lutz, but he still has very dangerous hitter on deck with David Sutherland.
Lutz singled through the hole on the right side his first time up. And he takes low and in ball 1. Bandits and Bite split the first 2 games of this 4-game set. Bandits with the home field advantage need to take at least 2. Big swing and a miss, and the count is 1-1.
Good pitch right there, and that's where we talk about being careful and not being too fine, but a good change up down in the strike zone.
Good cheering section here at One Hub Stadium, powered by Optus. Got an organized chant for Donald Lutz, and Lutz, with a big swing and a miss, runs the count to 1-2.
Yeah, they've basically, the Outlaws have commandeered that corner, and I think they got quite the cult following now.
All in service of making this baseball experience here in Brisbane as enjoyable as possible. The 1-2. Splintered bat, and Lutz just keeps it alive. He's going to walk back to the dugout, retrieve another bat, and maybe retrieve some more knuckles.
Yeah, just got it out in front right there, and with the cup bat, which means that they take the top of the bat out and reduce some of the balance in the weight, probably just fractured some of the top of the bat, so he'll go and reload and get a new piece of lumber. Here we see it on the replay. Good pitch, good location, and just got him out in front and cut off the end of the bat. That's where the bat will splinter, and he'll just reload.
Count remains 1-2. T.J. Bennett at second after a leadoff walk and a stolen base. David Sutherland would bat next. Lutz checks his swing, the appeal, and he did not go around. Moselle delivers his 60th pitch, and it is wisely taken low and away by Lutz. That runs the count full with first base open. Lefty Lee continues to warm, and that may be for Sutherland on deck. Can't let this game get too far out of reach. Payoff pitch is laced into right field. That's a base hit. Rounding third and coming home is Bennett. The throw is way offline, and that will allow Lutz to go to second. Run-scoring single for Donald Lutz, and the Bandits extend the lead. It's 4-0.
Fantastic at bat by Lutz right there. Got a pitch, another change up, stayed back on the baseball and able to shoot it to right field. A good job of executing with 2 outs, and now that makes the game 4-0.
Here comes manager Chris Adamson, and he is going to make a change. Greg Moselle pitched well for about 95% of the ball game, but a couple big 2-out hits have given the Bandits a 4-0 edge. Back after this on Bandits.tv.
How good is this?
It's an elderly higher pitching change for the Adelaide Bite, and a bit earlier than manager Chris Adamson had hoped. Greg Moselle last just 2 2/3 innings, and on in his place is the lefty Wilson Lee.
Yeah, not the start he wanted. At 3 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned, 3 base on balls and 3 strikeouts. But really, the big difference was he just continued to fall behind in the count, and you just can't do that against a strong hitting lineup like the Bandits.
No error on the throw. Lutz taking second just on the throw. And that is a runner that Moselle is responsible for. So his book is not completely closed. Wilson Lee making his first appearance of the year in a tough spot against a tough lefty.
Yeah, 26 years of age from Darwin, Northern Territory, Australia. The big lefty's 185 centimeters and 100 kilos. So get a chance to see him. His ABL career numbers are 4 and 6 with a 6.35 ERA in 123.1 innings pitched.
We talked about it in the open, and it comes into play here. How big were the 8 innings offered by Marcus Solbach last night in victory for the Bite, saving the bullpen so you can afford to use a couple of these guys here today in Game 1, saving a couple fresh arms additionally for the nightcap.
And it does, particularly in Queensland where we play double hitters and the temperatures can get up in the high to mid-30s. So when you talk about that, it does take its toll on the athletes, and a really good job. It allows them to go to the bullpen early knowing they've got plenty of relief ready to go.
1-0 to David Sutherland is fouled back to the screen. Sutherland reached on a fielder's choice to first, his first time up. Donald Lutz at second base after an RBI single, scoring TJ Bennett. That brings us to our current score of 4-0 Bandits. The 1-1. Sutherland chases up in the eyes and knew as soon as that swing started that he was making the wrong decision. 1-2 the count. That's the type of swing you see on a lefty-lefty matchup.
Yeah, you do, especially when you don't get a chance to see guys a lot of the time.
1-2, and Lee tried to freeze Sutherland with a breaking pitch, but it missed, and it's 2-2. Sutherland sends it in the air towards left. Schumpert coming in. He makes the catch for out number 3. But the Bandits again come through with 2 outs. An RBI single from Donald Lutz. And at the end of 3, with the clouds incoming, it's 4-0 Bandits.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
No one knows what the future of transportation will look like. Robots. But no matter what, Enterprise can help. You can rent a car for a road trip. Look, kids, nature. Oh, wow. You can rent a truck for a move. You can buy a car, commute in a van pool, or get picked up because your car is in a pool. My bad. Count on Enterprise, no matter where transportation goes next.
Let's go.
I love the future. How can Enterprise pick you up today?
The rain has started to fall, the umbrellas pop out, and we play on here at One Hub Stadium, powered by Optus. The Curran Cove Brisbane Bandits leading the Adelaide Bite by a score of 4-0. Paul Gonzalez, you've got the radar up. It looks like the big system coming in from the west is moving largely to the north of us, but we're catching the south end of it.
Yeah, on a positive, if it can blow through. I mean, the positive of this field is it does drain quickly. The positive for the Bandits, they do have a 4-0 lead. If they can complete 5, they get the complete game in. The main thing is the heavy stuff stays just to the west of us, and hopefully it doesn't come in too soon.
Travis Blackley's still out there. He's been given an additional run of support. He will face 5, 6, and 7 in the Bite lineup, beginning with Jordan McArdle. Blackley with 5 strikeouts over 3 scoreless, 3 hits allowed. He has stranded 4 men on. McArdle was one of those strikeout victims his first time up. First pitch swinging is the big lefty. He's early, and he sends it foul off the facing of the Bandits' dugout.
He's one of the future when you talk about the Adelaide Bite and their youth. You know, it's still very young in age, but it's great to see him giving the opportunity in his career. And it's a great organization to be with because it's allowing him to get at-bats every day now.
On the other side of the globe, property of the Arizona Diamondbacks. 1-1 the count. Blackley delivers. Change of speeds, gets a swing and a miss.
And that's the difference, you know, in the early part of your career, particularly at the lower levels. It's all about velocity. Obviously, now he's seeing the other side of the coin, which is the veteran side, where they can start mixing in speeds and location.
Here's the 1-2. Called strike 3. Another punch out for Travis Blackley. Number 6 so far this afternoon. It is another Skyfleet Hino strikeout, and we've seen a lot of those backwards Ks. Strikeouts looking for Travis Blackley. He is being very deceptive so far.
Yeah, it is, and here it is right here. Good pitch. It starts off behind him and just gives up on it, and there's so much downward action and downward break, able to get him out looking for out number 1.
Now Mitchell Edwards, switch hitting catcher, swings and misses after grounding out to third his first time up. Swing and a miss, and Blackley continues to get ahead in the count.
Yeah, he looks like he's really settled in now, and I like his tempo and his mound composure today. Looks under control, looks like he's sticking to his game plan. Really has stayed within himself this whole ball game.
The 0-2. Rocketed foul down the left field line. That lends out of play beyond the Bite bullpen. Don't want to overstate the weather that we're getting right now. It is raining, but not too hard. Certainly not enough to interrupt play at this point. 0-2, hit in the air right field. Playable for Ellis. In a few steps, he makes a two-handed catch for the second out.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we've been very fortunate that weather stayed away. It is coming down lightly, but not enough to hinder these players or the field. And once again, acknowledgement to the groundskeepers. Done an outstanding job in preparation of this field for game number 1 of this doubleheader.
Need to get through 5, or with the Bandits on top, 4.5 to be precise. Losing team has to come to bat 5 times for the game to become official. Here's Angus Roger, struck out looking his first time up. Swings at the first pitch and sends it on the ground towards short. Routine for Bennett. And a non-target throw to first. Completes a 1-2-3, 4th inning for Travis Blackley and the Curran Cove Brisbane Bandits. We are halfway home in this 7-inning ball game.
It's always been you.
It's always been us.
Some in-game entertainment here at One Hub Stadium powered by Optus. Play at the plate. So far, not a whole lot of success for our contestants on the field, but a lot of success for the Bandits on the field. 4-0 they lead. The Adelaide Bite going to the bottom of the 4th inning. Paul Gonzalez and Eric Bramer with you. 7, 8, and 9 due up for the Bandits. Danny De La Calle, Daniel Nielsen, and Mitch Ellis against the lefty Wilson Lee, who got the final out of the 3rd inning and now will have to at least begin the 4th.
I have to do acknowledge that the fan look very sharp in their new black jerseys this year. It's a new addition that Mr. Mark Reedy brought to the franchise, so it's got a good look, and it's been a hit with the merchandise stall.
De La Calle struck out swinging his first time up. Stands in against the lefty Wilson Lee. First pitch bounces to the backstop, ball 1. One-0 misses up and away, 2-0. Bandits will be on the road next weekend in Auckland to take on the new entrant into the ABL, the Tuatara, but you can check out the official watch party hosts of the Bandits, the Sporting Globe Chermside. 2-0 driven deep in the air, left center field, and it is gone! Too tall for Aaron Whitefield. Danny De La Calle hits his first of the year, and the Bandits extend the lead to 5-0. An Empire Jerky home run, second of the game for the Bandits, after Mitch Ellis's 3-run shot back in the 2nd.
Yeah, he got a chance, and he got a ball up in the strike zone, and we talked about this ballpark is falling behind the count or missing up in the zone, and De La Calle did a fantastic job not trying to do too much, stay through it, now making it 5-0 here in the 4th.
Now Daniel Nielsen. Nielsen drew a walk and came home to score. Take a look at the Suki Bowl replay there. Nielsen takes high and tight.
It's been what we expected. We talked about wind blowing out early in the ball game, and both pitchers have probably done a good job of working down in the zone, but they've made some mistakes up in the zone, particularly the Bite, and the Bandits have capitalized today.
And Lee, like Moselle before him, having trouble with his command. 3-0 now the count to the 8th place batter, Daniel Nielsen. There's a strike, 3-1. Another strike taken by Nielsen, and Lee has battled back to run the count full. Payoff pitch. Nielsen swings and misses, strike 3.
Really good pitch right there by Lee just to get him out after falling behind 3-0 for out number 1, but just a fantastic job of coming back in that situation.
First strikeout for Lee, and that brings up Mitch Ellis. Another look at the swinging strikeout there on the Suki Bowl replay. Ellis hit a 3-run home run as a left-handed batter. His first time up. Now turned around from the right side.
And not only just a 3-run shot, but the first hit of his ABL career, 3-run shot, so that's one to remember.
First of many, one would think. And a guy who, by the end of the season, may not be batting in the 9-hole. There's room for growth, and trying to work him in as good managers do. But his potential is far greater than that of a 9th place batter.
No, it is, and like I said, he's another addition to the ball club this year, and first time David's got a chance to work with him. The positive thing is plays multiple positions, so he can play second, he can play third, and he can play the outfield. So it brings quite a bit of versatility to this lineup.
He draws a 4-pitch walk here. It's the first walk for Lee, and it puts a man on for Andrew Campbell. Campbell, a pair of ground outs to the right side of the infield. He's 0 for 2. And the first pitch from Lee to Campbell is blocked nicely by the catcher, Edwards. Not really smothering it, but ricocheting it back towards the pitcher's mound. And with everything in full view, Ellis decides to stay at first. Six straight balls after the strikeout of Nielsen, and Campbell's ahead in the count 2-0. Hits the inside corner. Campbell thought it was ball 3.
Still ahead in the count right here, 2-1 with a man on first base, so really got to lock in and see if he can get a pitch up in the zone.
Lee delivers another strike, and it's 2-2. Bandits have 5 runs in less than 4 innings, but they've taken a lot of really good pitches and hitters counts so far.
Oh, they have, and it's still early. We forget, obviously, with the exhibition game last week, still very early in the season.
2-2. That one's taken on a check swing, and the count runs full. Campbell 0 for his last 8 after a 2-for-2 start to the season. On 3-2, Ellis takes off towards second, and Campbell keeps the at-bat alive with a foul tip.
And that's something we haven't seen. You know, the Bandits have always played big station to station because they've got so much power in the lineup, but now to see David being very aggressive with the base running puts a lot more pressure on defense.
Ellis goes, and the 3-2 misses low and away, ball 4. Back-to-back walks to the 9th place batter and the leadoff man. And it's looking for more here in the 4th inning with T.J. Bennett stepping to the plate. Greg Moselle, the starter, didn't have a very good ball-strike ratio, and Lee now with 25 pitches, only 10 of them for strikes.
And when you talk about what the outing was for last night, and it was outstanding and completely different on this side in game number 1 of this doubleheader.
T.J. Bennett swings at the first pitch of the ball game, and it will turn into a 1-6-3 double play. He'd taken 2 4-pitch walks entering that at bat, and thought he would try and surprise the bite. Instead, it is an inning-ending double play. The Bandits get 1, but miss out on an opportunity for more. We go to the 5th inning, 5-0 Brisbane on Bandits.tv.
Careful, out there, champ.
How good is this?
Curran Cove Brisbane Bandits lead the Adelaide Bite by a score of 5-0 as we go to the top of the 5th in this 7-inning ball game. Game 1 of a doubleheader at One Hub Stadium powered by Optus. With Australian silver medalist Paul Gonzalez, I'm Eric Bramer. Let's take a look around the scoreboard of the ABL after a busy night last night.
Yeah, last night was a busy night, and obviously Adelaide came here and beat the Bandits 5-3, but Canberra went down 2-1 to the Melbourne Aces, so Melbourne now take a 1-0 lead in there. And in Sydney, Geelong was beaten by Sydney Blue Sox 7-2.
Here's Nicholas Schumpert, 8th place batter leading off for the Bite, against Travis Blackley. First pitch swinging is smoked into left center field. It hits the gap and goes all the way to the wall. Extra bases for Nicholas Schumpert. He takes a turn around second, but will hold up with a leadoff double. Maybe the hardest hit ball of the afternoon so far for the Bite against Travis Blackley.
Yeah, it was a pitch up in the strike zone right there, and he took advantage of it. And like I said, Blackley's worked very, very effectively down in the strike zone. That's really one of the only mistakes we've seen up in the zone here in the 5th inning.
Now Curtis Mead, he singled his first time up. One more thought on the ABL scoreboard. Geelong Korea, new entrant into the league, made headlines last night because of what their manager did. Koo Dae-sung, the ABL and elsewhere legend as a player managing the Geelong Korea team. He was ejected from the ball game as the first pitch to Mead is swung on, hit on the ground to the left side, fielded by Shu, and he retires Mead while keeping Schumpert at second base. Koo Dae-sung was ejected from the ball game and then motioned his team to come off the field. And the game was eventually resumed as we take another look at that play by Shu at the hot corner. Another Suki Bowl replay and a nice play by the third baseman for the Bandits. We knew that Koo Dae-sung was going to make an impact, and nothing has changed. He is still a character as a manager as he was as a player.
Yeah, he was, and that's the thing. I got a chance to see him for a number of years in the ABL when he post his Major League Baseball career, and he's still a competitor on the field, and he's still very, very competitive as a new manager for Geelong.
There's the Blackley pickoff move to second base. Schumpert dives in, and the throw is a bit offline, but Schumpert, who dove, will stay at second. Biter really attacking Travis Blackley here in the 5th inning. 2 at-bats on just a pair of pitches. There's a first pitch take from Aaron Whitefield inside for ball 1.
Yeah, Blackley wanted that pitch. It's going to take a little bit of time right there just because he knows he's got a very dangerous hitter at the plate. Now he's down 1-0 here in the 1st inning. Excuse me, in the 5th.
A swinging strike. Even the home fans remember Aaron Whitefield from last year. They're cheering his name.
They do. You know, they love Whitey, and he, like I said, he's still a fan favorite here. But the boys will make sure they still give him an earful while he's visiting us here in Brisbane.
Blackley with a look towards second. The 1-1. Bounced in the dirt. Five runs on 4 hits for the Bandits. No runs on 4 hits for the Bite. Big difference for the Bandits. 2 of their hits were home runs, including a 3-run shot off the bat of Mitch Ellis. Schumpert at second after a leadoff double. 2-1 a called strike. Whitefield didn't think so. It's 2-2.
Yeah, good pitch right there by Blackley. Fell behind in the count and now brings it back to 2-2.
Hit fair down the third base line, past the sliding shoe. Scoring from second is Nicholas Schumpert, and into second with an RBI double is Aaron Whitefield. Whitefield continues to punish his former team. The Bite have their first run of the ball game.
Yeah, really good job right there. Fell back 2-2 in the count and able to get the ball past the diving G at third base, and that scores the first run of the ball game for the Bite.
Now Mikey Reynolds with the shutout bid spoiled for Travis Blackley. Reynolds 0 for 2 with a liner to third and a swinging strikeout. 75 pitches thrown for Blackley, 52 for strikes, and the first to Reynolds is fouled at the plate.
The first time in the Bandits bullpen we see somebody get up. Looks like Bollinger is starting to roll it over, and that's a good guy to go to, particularly after you had a really good outing by Blackley. So David Nielsen will let him try to get through this inning, obviously, to get the win, but he's got Bollinger heating up in the pen.
The 0-1. Just missing. Looked good from up here. Must have been low and away. The count is 1-1. Blackley delivers and fouled at the plate. Yeah, Travis would like to get through 5, pick up the win if the team can hold on. But his manager and his pitching coach would like to get him through 5 because they still have a 9-inning ball game to play later this evening.
That's absolutely right. Look, at the end of the day, he looks in control. He's still in control, but it's early in the season. And I know David really doesn't want to stretch any of his pitchers because you know it's still a very long season.
The 1-2 to Reynolds. Hit on the ground, right back up the middle. Fielding is Dutton, and he throws to first to get the speedy Reynolds for out number 2. Advancing to third during the play is Whitefield. He's 90 feet away from the second run of the game for the bite. Blackley did a blind wave with his glove hand to maybe knock that one down, but in situations like that, when you know your defense is behind you, you're almost better off doing what Blackley did and letting them take care of it.
Yeah, good job, and good field positioning by the Bandits. It's easy play was Wade Dutton was in for the out number 2.
Stephen Welsh takes a called strike on the outside corner. He's 1 for 1 with a single and a hit by pitch. Welsh off to a good start to the season. 3 for 9. Still looking for his first run batted in, and a base hit here would do the trick. 0-1 fouled, and it's 0-2.
I can see Blackley's turning up a notch. He's got a lot of respect for Welsh. Welsh's a veteran guy in the Australian Baseball League, represent Australia, Team Australia as well, and probably the most dangerous hitter in this lineup. So this may be the batter he wants to get out in this situation with the Bandits leading 5-1.
An out here would also make this game official if the skies for some reason opened up. The 0-2 just off the inside corner and a flinch from home plate umpire James Shields, but missed by centimeters, if that. Blackley peering over the glove, looking for one more pitch to end his afternoon. The 1-2. Fouled at the plate, and Welsh hangs tough.
Yeah, really good job by Welshie right there. Good location by Blackley, able to run the ball in there on his hands, and particularly with 2 strikes, it's tough for a left-hander to stay in, keep his hands inside that ball, but able to fight it off and keep the at-bat alive.
This will be pitch number 85 for Travis Blackley. One, 2 is hit in the air foul down the first base line, and it lands well out of play.
Talking earlier when we were talking about good hitters, and this is a very good hitter for the Adelaide Bite team, and he is the leader of that clubhouse, and it's fantastic they were able to get him back after taking a year off. He just had his first child, but he brings more than just his presence at the plate. He brings leadership within the clubhouse, and once again, another tough at-bat against Blackley.
Blackley to the plate. Tapped on the ground towards second. Dutton fields and flips. And that's it for the 5th inning. Bite get their first run, but they leave another potential run at third base. Brisbane is in the books with the lead in this game that is now official. 5-1 our score as we go to the 5th, bottom of the 5th in Brisbane.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a sporting globe.
No one knows what the future of transportation will look like. Robots. But no matter what, Enterprise can help. You can rent a car for a road trip. Look, kids, nature. Oh, wow. You can rent a truck for a move. You can buy a car, commute in a van pool, or get picked up because your car is in a pool. My bad. Count on Enterprise, no matter where transportation goes next.
Let's go.
I love the future. How can Enterprise pick you up today?
Fans running across the infield as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning in Brisbane at One Hub Stadium, powered by Optus. Curran Cove Brisbane Bandits leading the Adelaide Bite by a score of 5-1 in a 7-inning ball game. Paul Gonzalez and Eric Bramer with you. Rain continues to come down, and we got a straggler. That's what it's all about.
Oh, it really is, and it's such a good activation, and it's great to see that the little ones and sometimes the older ones have still got one more coming in, but get an opportunity to run on the field and experience what it's like to be on probably the best stadium in Queensland.
Baseball is supposed to be fun, and the Bandits do a great job of making it fun for the fans. Shu Chi Hung will lead it off for the Bandits. He's 0 for 2 today. 3, 4, and 5 due up for Brisbane. Slight delay as they close the gate to the fans. Don't want to leave that open. Wilson Lee still out there, an inning and a third so far, with 1 run allowed and a pair of walks.
Notice the rain is starting to come down a little bit heavier. Not overly heavy where they'd stop play, but starting to come down with a heavier sprinkle.
Game 2 scheduled to begin at 6 o'clock local time. 0-1 up and away. That evens up the count. Shu fouls it straight back to the screen, and it's 1-2. Sky's just a little bit darker now than they were a few minutes ago.
Yeah, it is. It's starting to open up a little bit more, and it went from a light drizzle and starting to come down with a bit of a heavy sprinkle, and hopefully that'll blow out. Take a quick look at the bomb and see if...
Shu sends it in the air to right center field. That dies in between the outfielders. A big turnaround first, but a leadoff single for Shu Chi Hung. And another hit for the import.
Just looking at the radar right now, and there is some light stuff just coming through Brisbane at the moment. If that passes, looks like the heavy stuff is above us in Brisbane, and then we got clear skies behind that. I did mention this field drains extremely well, so hopefully we'll just get the light stuff. That'll blow out, and we'll get back and complete this doubleheader.
Doesn't really matter how much it rains as long as it's in between games,
Absolutely.
Right? Wade Dutton takes up and away ball 1. Bandits second baseman 0 for 2 with a strikeout. After today, the Bandits will return home for round 3 against the Sydney Blue Sox. Old strike on the outside corner, 1-1 the count.
And I think that'll be a really good matchup this year. Sydney's made some big acquisitions over the offseason. Murphy came in, and Maestro, former Bandits player, ended up pitching in Japan for a number of years, and now he's back in the Australian Baseball League. So I think that'll be a very, very good head-to-head matchup.
It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday
Yes.
series, only one of the year scheduled. So a little bit different. Be sure that you are aware of that if you're making plans to come out to the ballpark. And if you want to follow along next weekend, Auckland doesn't have lights at their temporary facilities, so all-day games, including a 9 a.m. start time a week from today. Game 1 of a doubleheader.
It's almost like an instructional league game in America, or
breakfast and baseball. Lee's 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Dutton goes down. Second strikeout for Lee. And out number 1 after the leadoff single.
Yeah, good job of pitching right there and just able to get him out slightly in front for out number 1.
For what it's worth, Bollinger has stopped warming in the Bandits' pen. I'm guessing that means he is done warming up and he's ready to go, but maybe they'll give Blackley another inning. We'll see. Here's Donald Lutz, 2 for 2 with an RBI single his last time up. Cold strike begins the at-bat with the lefty-lefty matchup. The 0-1, just off the outside corner.
You can see the game plan against Lutz. Obviously, big, strong man from the left side of the plate, just really working him off the plate on the outer half.
Runner goes. And the throw down to second, not in time. Chu Chi-hung picks up the stolen base, his first in a Bandits uniform. And they'll let that be a warning to other teams in the ABL. Don't ignore him at first because he will take off. Let's take another look at the Suki Bowl replay.
Yeah, good jump right there, and probably stole it on the pitcher more than the catcher in that situation. Went first move and able to beat the throw to second base.
2-1 the count, and now the count is 2-2.
Did mention earlier in the ball game, I'd got a chance to see him play, and last night's ball game, he hit that double and shows good wheels for a big man.
Third stolen base of the game for the Bandits. TJ Bennett has the other 2. And now Bollinger continuing to warm for the Bandits. The 2-2. Looks off the very end of his bat. We went through one bat today. This one survives. Hit off the net, and hopefully all our camera operators and microphones are doing okay down there.
Yeah, everything checks out okay, and another great job by Gabba Sporting Goods, and once again another fantastic design by Gabba.
New netting, and we can see through it, and that's the most important thing.
And it's safe.
2-2 taken low and away. Breaking pitch from Lee, and Lutz hangs on. 3-2 with first base open and David Sutherland waiting on deck. Way early, but barreled up by Lutz, and that one is headed for somewhere out of our line of sight.
Tell you what, good job of getting to the ball. Ball was well on his inner hands, but he able to pull his hands inside the ball and still keep it foul. In cricket, that's probably a 6, but here it's just a long strike.
8th pitch of the at-bat coming from Lee to Lutz. Lutz with a deep drive to right field into the corner, and it is caught by Geddes, moving well towards his left. Just not enough altitude on that one, and maybe in on the hands a bit too.
Yeah, he did a good job of getting to it. Here's a pitch again, location, and great job by Geddes to run that ball down. We talked about his credentials. He is a second-round pick by the San Diego Padres. Got a lot of potential there in right field, showing us his range.
2 down with Shu still at second base. Now David Sutherland, 0 for 2. He reached and scored on a fielder's choice in the second. First pitch swinging, he too was early, and he sends it foul up the first base line.
Just checking the bomb again, and looks like that's going to blow out just above Brisbane, so it looks like we've missed that storm. So hopefully that'll blow out in time, and we'll get a complete game in, and hopefully we'll get clear skies for game number 2 starting at 6 o'clock.
Our viewers at home can see the rain because we are broadcasting on Bandits.tv in 1080p. Thank you, Hailstorm. 1-1 the count. And again, game 2 of this doubleheader getting started at 6 o'clock if you want to come out and join us in person. A few hard steps towards third for Shu, and he went halfway and retreated. Must have seen something in the delivery of Lee, but then thought better of it. 2-1 the count.
Yeah, it's one of those things you never want to make the third out at third base, but the other thing it does, it forces your third baseman to cover the bag and potentially opens up that hole on the left-hand side. So good job by Chi to actually create a little bit of havoc on the base path.
Just outside, 3-1 with Danny De La Calle, who homered his last time up, waiting in the on-deck circle.
I'm just looking at the wind now, and it's completely blowing out to right field, so anything in the air has the opportunity to get out of this ballpark.
Sutherland pops it up around home plate. Pitcher Edwards loses sight of it, and it is the pitcher, Wilson Lee, who is trained to give way in those situations, but there was nobody else to catch it. Lee picks up his teammates and picks up the third out of the inning, stranding Shu at second base. Bandits do not score in the fifth for the first time since the first. And we go to the sixth inning, still 5-1 Brisbane on bandits.tv.
For our team, communication is key both on and off the field.
Good afternoon, One Hub Group. How may I help you?
Yeah, I'm chasing a new phone. Okay, great.
One Hub is dedicated account management for all our technology. Having one point of contact makes a massive difference and lets us focus on what we do best.
Travis Blackley departs in line for the win after 5 solid innings of 1-run, 5-hit ball. And it is time for another Alderley Higher pitching change for Dave Nielsen and the Bandits. Coming on in relief of the lefty Blackley is another lefty, Ryan Bollinger.
Tell you what, Blackley did a fantastic job today. 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, and 6 strikeouts. That's exactly what David Nielsen would want to see from his starter and a veteran pitcher. And now he goes to another veteran arm in Ryan Bollinger.
Geddes, McArdle, and Edwards, 4, 5, and 6 due up for the bite. Here in the top of the 6th inning, running out of time in a 7-inning ball game.
Well, here's the Cinderella story. 27 years of age from Maple Grove, Minnesota. He was a 47th round pick with the Philadelphia Phillies, bounced around the White Sox organization, went on to Germany last year, came to Australia, and next thing you know, he's called up to the New York Yankees organization. Did not get a chance to pitch in the big leagues, but what a journey and what a story.
Right now, and hopefully for this offseason only, listed in the Wikipedia entry for phantom players, people who have made the Major League roster but have not yet entered into a ball game. Let's hope that comes very quickly in 2019 for Ryan.
Absolutely.
0-1 hits the foot of Michael Geddes. He sprawls down in the box and takes first. Maple Grove, Minnesota, just up I-94 from the Twin Cities area. Take another look at the Suki Bowl replay. Got higher than the foot, up on the ankle bone or maybe on the shin a little bit. That's going to hurt, but Geddes will get first base out of it.
Yeah, I tell you what, and he's a great young man. Like I said, left-handed pitcher, throwing the ball extremely well early in the season. Got a chance to see him in the spring in that preseason series against Auckland. Really had showed a lot of command of that secondary pitch.
First pitch swinging is Jordan McArdle. It's hit on the ground towards short, and there's a 6-4-3 double play to very quickly erase the hit by pitch. I say this a lot this year. Well turned by Bennett and Dutton up the middle. Bennett given the hang loose, turn 2 signal, and here's another look at the Suki Bowl replay.
Yeah, good job. Taylor made the double play and a good feed to Wade Dutton at second base. Fires to first base for the double play, and that's what veteran guys do. They don't try to potentially try to overpower you. They just try to pitch to contact and utilize their defense.
Mitchell Edwards turned back around to the left side. Beg your pardon, this is a pinch hitter for Edwards. Bruce Wong, the catcher, getting his first playing appearance of the year. With Wong's appearance, he becomes the 200th different player in Adelaide Bite history.
And coming out of China, so it shows that not just the diversity of this Australian Baseball League with a player coming out of China as well. So once again, one of the probably the point of difference between the Australian Baseball League and when you look at some of the Latin American winter leagues is this, the amount of Asian players that come in and what makes this league so special.
One of just 2 bench options available to Chris Adamson, so he burned up one of them. Wouldn't think he would do that unnecessarily, so we hope that Mitchell Edwards is okay.
And it may be he might be catching the back end of the second game. He's going to give him a bit of a spell. No, he's got to catch 9 after this one.
2-2 the count. Bollinger to Bruce Wong. And a swinging strike 3. There's a strikeout for Ryan Bollinger, another Skyfleet Hino strikeout, and a 1-2-3 6th inning after the hit by pitch in the double play. To the bottom of the 6th we go in Brisbane. Bandits on top 5-1.
It's always been you.
It's always been us.
The Curran Cove Brisbane Bandits are on their way to, at the very least, a series split in round 1 against the Adelaide Bite. 5-1 the score as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning at One Hub Stadium, powered by Optus. Game 1 of 2 in a doubleheader today. This was a 7-inning ball game. Game 2, scheduled to begin at 6 o'clock local time, will be a full 9-inning ball game, and it is another pitching change, an Alderley Higher pitching change for Chris Adamson and the Adelaide Bite. Wilson Lee went 2 1/3 innings, allowing 1 run on 2 hits. He walked a couple batters and struck out 2. And coming on in his place is Jackson Brebner-Russ.
Yeah, Jackson, 25 years of age, will replace Lee, and a fantastic job by Lee. Came in against a tough lineup, and he's going to be very effective for them, particularly with when you talk about facing the Bandits, where you've got such a dominant side of hitters from the left side.
Danny De La Calle will lead things off for the Bandits. 7, 8, and 9 due up for Brisbane in what they hope will be their last time at bat in Game 1 of the doubleheader.
I'm just looking at the pitching change with Russ, and it looks like throughout his career he's obviously been primarily listed as a hitter with a batting average of 174. Last year he was 2 for 4 with in 5 games. So they don't have a stat line against him in pitching, so it looks like he's going to fill in for the first time. This may be his ABL debut as a pitcher.
He is a converted catcher turned pitcher, which of all the different ways to become a pitcher is probably among the most rare. First pitch swinging is Danny De La Calle. He sends it out in a shallow right center, and a nice over-the-shoulder catch made by Meade, the second baseman, with the wind helping that ball out into the outfield. Another Suki Bowl replay here.
And once again, he's done exactly what Adamson will want, just come in, throw strikes, and work ahead in the count. Probably one of the most dominant pitchers that I had an opportunity to face that was a catcher with Troy Percival with the California Angels, and he transitioned very well.
First out comes easily enough for Jackson Brebner Russ, and now Daniel Nielsen, who has yet to put the ball in play. He has walked and scored and also struck out. Daniel Nielsen drives it high and deep to right field. It is off the wall, high off the wall. It will be a double for Daniel Nielsen, almost a home run, as he put a charge into that one with the wind at his back.
Yeah, really good job of hitting right there by Nielsen. Got a pitch in the inner half of the plate and able to drive it off the EPC solar sign. So another double for the Bandits here with one out and puts him in scoring position here in the sixth.
Now Mitch Ellis, who hit a homer his first time up, drew a walk most recently in the fourth. Bandits would like to have at least a couple more runs on the board. Nobody warming, so it looks like Ryan Bollinger will get a chance to finish this one off in the top of the seventh. There's a base hit to left field down the line. Nielsen rounding third is going to come home. Mitch Ellis wants a double, and he slides in safely to second. RBI two-bagger, and that caps off a nice game for Mitch Ellis. The 3-run homer, the walk, and now an RBI double.
Yeah, good job of hitting right there by Ellis. Didn't try to do too much. Got a chance to see his power when he hit that 3-run shot early in the ball game. Now he shoots one down the line, making it 6-1.
Lineup turns over for Andrew Campbell. Campbell 0 for 2, but he did draw a walk his last time up. He swings at the first pitch and sends a little nubber on the right side. That's going to be a tough play for the bite, and they turn it. McArdle flips it to Brebner Russ, who gets there just in time. First base umpire and crew chief Mal Mackay says out. We'll take another look and see if he was right. Suki Bowl replay.
Yeah, really good pickup right here and a good flip to first base. Just in time, beating the speedy Campbell.
Good call and a good angle there from our production crew. Missed the first attempt at the base, but then got there just ahead of Campbell's foot.
And it's a tough play, particularly these guys didn't have an extended spring training, and those are normally the little things that come back and bite you, is when you don't have an opportunity to execute those simple plays like that.
Ellis takes third in the process. Here's TJ Bennett. Bennett a pair of walks and a double play. He takes inside ball one. Brebner Russ delivers wide, and it kicks off the glove of Wong, the new catcher behind home plate, who has stayed in the game as the backstop. Lead now 6-1 for the Bandits, almost 7-1 if Wong hadn't gotten a piece of that errant pitch. The 2-0. Bennett fouls it straight back. Coming up in game 2, Tim Atherton scheduled to go for the Bandits. If this is indeed a Brisbane win, a chance to go 3-1 in the opening round, you'll take that. Missing low and in.
Yeah, Atherton will give you a completely different look. He's a big right-hand power arm for the Brisbane Bandits, primarily fastball, throw a hard breaking ball. He's got a changeup, but one thing he does when he gets on the bump, he does compete.
(3-1) to Bennett on the inner half, strike.
Good pitch right there. He falls into a 3-1 count, which is a hitter's count. Looked like he threw a little changeup right there. For a guy that doesn't have a lot of mound time, it's a good pitch in a tough situation.
3-2 pitch coming from Brebner Russ to Bennett. And Bennett delivers a base hit to right field. RBI single scores Ellis from third. Bennett gets his first hit of the ball game, and it is a 7-1 Bandits lead.
Yeah, really good job of hitting right there. Like I said, in a 3-1 count, got a changeup, able to lay off it. We got a pitch down in the strike zone and fires it to right field for the 7th run of the game, now making it 7-1.
Now Shu Chi Hung, he's 1 for 3 with a single his last time up. Cold strike begins the at-bat. At the very least now we know that we won't have another 5-3 final. That could have been a possibility entering this inning. First 2 games of the season, one a Bandits win, one a Bite win. Each ended 5-3. Tap back to the mound, and springing off the mound to field it is Brebner Russ. He takes it all the way to first base himself, getting his 60 feet 6 inches in. And that ends the 6th inning. 2-run score for the Bandits, an RBI double for Mitch Ellis and an RBI single for TJ Bennett. And the Bandits will try and finish this one off in 7, leading it 7-1.
Can't you see my heart is lost without you? And your kisses make me love you more. And your kisses make me love you more. Can't you hear the sound of love and desire?
Ryan Bollinger and the Brisbane Bandits looking to cap off Game 1 of today's doubleheader. They lead it 7-1 as we go to the 7th and final inning at One Hub Stadium, powered by Optus. Paul Gonzalez and Eric Bramer with you. Bollinger working on his 2nd inning, and he delivers a called strike to Angus Roger. Roger 0 for 2. He'll be followed by Nicholas Schumpert and Curtis Mead. 0-1 misses up and away. Coran Cove Brisbane Bandits won the opener of this series and this season on Thursday night. Lost last night, but a win today puts them back in the driver's seat with a chance to win this series 3-1 upon the completion of today's doubleheader. 1-1 hit hard but foul down the third base line. We're going to take a break and go off the air after this game comes to a close, but then we will be back for Game 2 of the doubleheader, a 9-inning ball game beginning at 6 o'clock local time. That is about an hour and 20 minutes from now. That is, if everything goes according to plan, the weather holds off, and the Bandits finish off this 7-1 victory. 3 outs to go for Bollinger. And the 1-2 is popped foul behind first. Over for a look is Sutherland, but he runs out of room.
Tell you what's good to see Bollinger back on the mound again in his 2nd year for the Bandits. Different look. Last year we got a chance to see him as a starter. You know, last year he sat between 91 and 94 miles an hour. He was a free agent, and obviously the New York Yankees picked him up. Once again a free agent, but I don't see him being on the market very long.
One-two, slow breaking pitch, and Roger with a defensive swing keeps the at-bat alive.
I tell you, the difference in the line score, how the productivity from the Bandits, they've really capitalized on opportunities. With 8 hits, driven in 7 runs today. Obviously, Adelaide Bite held to 5 hits, but only conceding 1 run.
1-2, cracked in the air towards center. Should be playable for Campbell. He froze a moment to identify the ball, and now running in with the wind changing directions, he makes the catch for the first down.
Very old San Francisco Giants field back in the night games, back when the wind played havoc. So good job by Campbell, able to stay with it and for out number 1.
Yeah, Candlestick Park was a bit windy, was it not? First pitch swinging is Nicholas Schumpert. He sends it straight back to the screen. Schumpert jumped all over the first pitch of the 5th inning off of Travis Blackley and laced a double into the left center field gap. Came home to score what is right now the only run of the game for the Bite on Aaron Whitefield's RBI double. The 0-1 just misses.
Good pitch by Bollinger right there, and really good location. That's exactly where he wanted to hit his pitch. He wants to really keep the ball in on his hands and force him to cheat on the inner half.
Schumpert takes inside. Each team has left on 5 runners, but for the Bite, they came in bunches. First and second in the first and second in the third. That's back when this game was more within reach. And here's a drive to deep left field. Schumpert sends it up and foul. Schumpert with a lot of power, but he didn't even leave the box. He knew that he was just a bit early on that one. Some lightning off in the distance. The 2-2 to Schumpert. Slow breaking pitch, misses just up high. Count runs full with Curtis Mead waiting on deck. Payoff pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Schumpert goes down swinging. Second strikeout of the game for Bollinger, and it is another Sky Fleet Hino strikeout. Last out for the Bites. Last chance is Curtis Mead. And he swings at the first pitch, lifting it foul and out of play down the first base line. Not a save situation for Bollinger. He entered when this game was 5-1. But it would be a nice start to his ABL season nonetheless to finish off this win for the Bandits. 0-1 a check swing, and home plate umpire James Shields says he went around. Mead behind in the count, 0-2.
Yeah, tough pitch to lay off of, and especially for a young man like Mead, he hadn't had an opportunity to face a lot of veteran type arms like he is tonight.
0-2, in on the hands and cracked foul. Bollinger's 0-2. Fastball misses high. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Bollinger completes the ball game and gets the win for Travis Blackley. The Curran Cove Brisbane Bandits defeat the Adelaide Bite by a score of 7-1 in Game 1 of today's doubleheader. Bandits improved to 2-1 on the season, and Paul Gonzalez, a good win from start to finish.
Absolutely, and I think probably the outstanding performer today was Travis Blackley, coming in for his first start of the 18-19 season. He went 5 innings, 5 complete, 5 hits, 1 run, and only 1 earned run for an ERA of 1.80, and that's probably where he wants to start here in this third game of this first bill of the doubleheader.
Blackley gets the win, Moselle gets the loss. There was no save in this 7-inning ball game taken by the Bandits. We are not done today at One Hub Stadium powered by Optus. A brief break, then back in about an hour and 15 minutes. 6 o'clock local time is when we will play the 9-inning ball game, the conclusion of today's doubleheader and round 1 between Brisbane and Adelaide. For Paul Gonzalez, I'm Eric Bramer signing off for now. Again, your final score 7-1. The Curran Cove Brisbane Bandits over the Adelaide Bite.